right now on News 12.
These are the elected officials who touch our day-to-day lives.
The polls are now closed and results are pouring in.
Tonight, we're tracking some of the biggest races here in Westchester County.
There's a record of success, and I think that's what I'm running on. That's what we're hoping that people will respond to. Yonkers is in need of change.
And across the rest of the Hudson Valley,
your supervisors, mayors, legislators, and county executives are all on the ballot tonight.
Our Vote 2023 team coverage starts right now.
Thank you for joining us tonight for our Vote 2023 election night coverage. I'm Nikita Ramos.
Yeah, this is a big night, everyone. I'm Kevin Marr. The polls are officially closed and the votes are now being counted.
And as those results are rolling in, we have a team of reporters across the Hudson Valley right now tracking the biggest local races.
And we're going to start with the biggest of those races, Westchester's largest city, the race for Yonkers mayor.
And Republican Councilman Anthony Mirante is looking to unseat three-time incumbent Mayor Mike Spano here. And News 12's Nadia Galindo is tracking this race very closely for us. Nadia, this could be a pivotal moment for the city.
Absolutely. The mayor seeking a fourth term in office after already serving 12 years as the leader of this city. We're here at his watch party at Castle Royale in Yonkers. He's not here yet, but I want to show you who is. Just take a look around the room. You can see that a lot of unions are here. The Yonkers Firefighter Union, Teachers Union, building workers, all of them are here supporting Mayor Mike Spano. They like the direction he has led the city. In fact, one person I spoke to said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That is kind of the sentiment in this room. He is touting his record as mayor, leading the city to what he calls a renaissance, seeing a lot of development on the waterfront. He's facing off with Republican candidate Anthony Mirante. He's a councilman for Yonkers, and he says it is time for change in the city. There's also another candidate in this race, Allison Abramson. She is running on the Working Families Party. We're going to be following this race all night, and we'll bring you results as they come in. But as of now, he is leading the race, only 9 districts of 224 reporting, so still a lot more results to tally. That's the latest here in Yonkers. Nadia Galindo, News 12.
All right, Nadia, thank you. And now to the race for New Rochelle Mayor. Democratic Councilwoman Yadira Ramos Herbert is vying to become the city's first female mayor and mayor of color.
And she is up against Republican Louis Trangucci, who says the city is at a turning point. And News 12's Tara Rosenblum is at the headquarters of the Councilwoman. And speaking of a turning point, we could have history being made tonight, Tara.
Kevin, Nikita, the excitement is building. The room is starting to fill up here at the Little Mexican Cafe, but the polls have only been closed for about a half hour or so, right? So I think it's going to be another half hour, another hour before we see large enough numbers to call this race. So in the meantime, let me bring you up to speed on what is no doubt the highest profile race playing out along the Sound Shore this evening. So this is what we call an off-cycle election year. So that means there's no presidents, no governors, no senators on the ballot. So it is these local mayoral races playing out in New York's largest cities that are where the action's at. We are literally as local news gets this year, guys. And New Rochelle is the 7th largest city in the state of New York. It's a city where the voters here have been led by the same person for nearly 2 decades. But now that Noam Brown is not running for a 5th term after a primary, this became a matchup between 2 well-known figures, Yadira Ramos Herbert, the Democratic councilwoman, and the former Republican councilman, Louis Trangucci. We're going to be here following all the numbers for you. Trangucci and his team is over at the Modern, and we're in touch with them as well. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Tara, thank you. And we're also tracking 2 other major races. This is in District 4 in Yorktown.
So let's break these down for you, too, because there's the race for the chair of the Board of Legislatures and the town supervisor race.
And News 12's Jonathan Gordon has been tracking these very closely tonight. Jonathan, can you tell us a little bit more about these candidates?
Yeah, certainly. So right now where we are at the headquarters of the Democrats here in Yorktown, and so far good-looking news for Vedat Gashut, about 15% in, and he is holding, looking at about 150 or so vote lead. Again, it's early numbers, but these are just early trends that we are starting to see. And so, as others have mentioned, because it's early right now, this lead over Republican Dan Branda, it is still somewhat quiet. People are still waiting in anticipation for some more numbers before we get even close to any type of announcement. But on the other side, so that is a positive here for Vedat and the Democrats. On the other side of things, with the Republicans in the town of Yorktown, the incumbent Tom Diana with about 100 or so vote lead over the Democrat there. So again, we're seeing that this is generally a red area here in this in northern Westchester. Some cases we can see candidates who can push forward. The incumbent looking for a third term, Gashi, and then we'll see what happens over with the town of Yorktown and Diana. We'll keep an eye on both, and we'll send it back to you.
All right, Jonathan, thanks. In Rockland County, we're keeping an eye on the district attorney. We're also watching the race for Clarkstown Town Supervisor. Current town clerk Justin Sweet challenging four-time winner and the current town supervisor George Homan.
And this is where News 12's Diane Caruso has been watching this race from Pearl River right now. Diane, as we know, term limits a big issue here, but it looks like excitement is building there behind you.
That's right, Nikita. As the night it continues on and those votes start to pour in and be counted up, there's more and more of Rockland's politicians here at the Pearl River Hilton, where we're set up at the Rockland Republicans watch party to see those votes trickle in. Justin Sweet, who is Homan's challenger in this Clarkstown Town Supervisor race, is with the other county Dems at their watch party in Nyack. Now, while both sides eagerly await to see who comes out with that position, I want to talk to you about some of the voters I spoke with at the New City Library for several hours while we were there at that polling site. Some of the folks that most of the folks rather I spoke to were just happy to be there to have their civic duty and to make their voices heard. Others were there specifically for this Clarkstown's race and told me they had concerns over crime and over development. And now it's all done. The polls are closed, and now it's up to see where their voices are and how they'll be heard. We're in Pearl River. Diane Caruso, News 12.
And we are also following the Dutchess County executive race. You'll remember Mark Molinaro left that position. He's now in Congress.
And our Ben Nandy is tracking this race for us. Ben, I'm sure excitement is building around you as well. It's getting a little noisy there. Tell us more about these candidates in this race.
Okay, yeah, a lot going on. Actually, some breaking news. Democrats are doing really well across the board in Dutchess County, at least according to the early returns. Right now, I've moved down the road to the Pirate Canoe Club in Poughkeepsie. This is where Democrat County exec candidate Tommy Zerhelen is holding his election night party. There are a lot of excited people in the room, very optimistic after hearing those early returns. Zerhelen is a Navy veteran and a professor at Marist College. He's a newcomer to politics, but people in this room are very confident. He has a room full of people very excited. So he's going up against the political veteran Republican Sue Serino, who's been fundraising up a storm this campaign season, outraising Zerhelen 12-1. Zerhelen and his supporters say they understand that they're an underdog coming into this. His campaign has not spent quite what Serino's has spent, and I'm joined now by Mr. Zerhelen. How do you feel right now, if you just have 20 seconds?
Well, we're tired, but we feel really good. It's this close, and we were outspent 12-1. It says a lot about our community. We ran on the issues. People know about the issues now, and we're really happy that the word got out.
Thanks so much. We'll be checking in with you again soon, and we will have an interview with the winner as soon as we find out who that is. But right now, it's looking pretty close. Ben Nandy, News 12.
One thing I'm tracking for you in the Alert Center right now is the power of the write-in. These are the candidates you see in Harrison for Town Supervisor. Town Supervisor Richard Dionisio, a Republican, is running for a second term, but some of what he's done has upset residents. So that has former Supervisor Ronald Belmont, also a Republican, waging a write-in campaign. Because of those write-ins, we may not fully know the results just yet, and you can see they haven't come in just yet. Another write-in campaign we're watching is the DA in Rockland County. That's Thomas Walsh, unopposed for a second term. So you can see there it says uncontested, but he does have a challenger, a write-in challenger, Teresa DeFalco, a former assistant DA. We'll get those results to you as soon as they start to come in further.
And be sure to continue to stick with us here throughout the night. Those election results as they continue to pour in.
Yeah, keep an eye at the bottom of your screen. Plus, download the free News 12 app, and we will send election results push alerts straight to your phone.